Welcome everyone to Best Wedding Ever. We are Nicole and Alex. We help new and novice officiants plan and officiate perfect, personal wedding ceremonies. So if you have a question about how to turn your ceremony chaos into the best wedding ever, let us know in the comments.
Welcome back, everyone. We're so excited you could join us for this edition of Best Wedding Ever. In this video, we're going to talk more about what to do when your couple is ghosting you. Now, if you've seen our prior videos on this topic, you know step one is to try to figure out what's really going on. In most cases, the couple will simply be overwhelmed. Too many details. And occasionally, and hopefully not that often, the couple will be struggling with some kind of disaster or some sort of crisis in their lives. We really hope that is not the case. That should be few and far between. But what might be happening is that the couple is struggling with the element itself. Whatever it is you're trying to write or create, they're just stuck on it.
Yeah.
And, what we've seen happen is when you first start to create, your couple might have seen something in another wedding or seen something on the internet and they thought, oh, this would be great. We'll totally do that. It gets added to the list with a great deal of excitement. But then when it comes time to actually write it, the couple, there's just no juice left to actually create it.
This is actually a powerful authenticity litmus test.
Okay. Tell me more.
You sat up straighter for that.
Litmus test.
Well, I think that before you get to the final day of the ceremony, you want to put every single element through this litmus test, and you're going to be doing it intentionally or not around when you get to the point of writing it. Is there any juice to draw from to actually make it come to life?
Okay, so let's dive into how do we know an element isn't working? So if we're excited about it, it's working, but then how do we know it's not going to work or it's not working?
So I think that there are some common symptoms. One being that everyone's cringing their way through it. It's painful to work on it. I think that, maybe they've given it a good faith effort and you're giving it a good faith effort and you're in it and it's feeling painful. I think another symptom is that you can't even get started on it. I do this all the time. It's time to do something, and it's like, oh, the pen fell out of my hand. It's like it won't even write on the piece of paper. And I think that ultimately, whether it's painful or you're having trouble getting started, it takes forever to make any progress. You're not going anywhere fast.
So what you're saying is I think most people would feel that happening and would sort of beat themselves up. I'm not taking this seriously. I'm procrastinating. I don't really need to eat this 8th cookie. I need to sit down and write this. And you're saying don't beat yourself up.
Exactly. To pay attention to the wisdom of deliberate hesitation and delay. It's telling you something. It's there for a reason. And instead of beating yourself up, maybe instead get curious. What is triggering this negative or avoidant reaction? Is it the element itself? Is it the way you're planning to present it? Is it the people involved? I think there's 3 different things that it could be.
Yeah. And it's so important to identify what exactly about the element is feeling icky, because you don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater if there's a simple fix, if it's substituting in another friend or adding music or, it could be super simple to make it not torture you.
Yeah, I kind of think of it almost like a Rubik's Cube, that you kind of have to turn the little pieces well enough to be able to make it all line up. And it's not going to do that necessarily first time out of the gate. And so instead of tossing the cube behind you, which you may end up doing, and that's an okay solution. But I think that once you identify the specific problem, you can craft a fix or create a solution and ultimately cut it if it's not salvageable. But the key is to address it, because procrastination, I think, can start to pile up. And while it's a sign that something's wrong, diving right in to figure out what's going on will unstick the log jam and help get you to wedding ceremony day without feeling like you're in a time crunch.
Yeah, and too many people focus that energy in on beating themselves up, oh, I'm not doing it, I'm not good enough, I can't figure it out. It's like, no. Turn that energy outward, put it on the element, and just noodle with that until it feels good and it feels exciting. Or if it's never going to feel good or exciting, out it goes.
You want it to almost feel easeful.
Yes.
And that's not to say that it's not hard necessarily, or you don't have to dig deep to make it work. Like, I think writing or crafting vows is a place that we hear a lot from couples that can feel hard or challenging or overwhelming because it's so important. And I think getting curious about why it's hard helps maybe the couple realize, gosh, this is really important. I want to do well. And then you can, from there, kind of think about ways to really examine, okay, what does well look like? What does like delivering these in a really powerful and potent way feel like? But just like being scared to tackle it can lead to that kind of avoidance.
Yeah, and people get scared because they think there's a way they should do it. Like, they should write some rhyming couplets about like how their partner's like a rose, and they're paralyzed by that because not like a rose. Not
I'm prickly.
You're not a rose at all. You're cute. Be comforted in the knowledge that every culture on the planet does weddings slightly differently. There's a lot of inspiration out there. There's a lot of different ways to tackle these puzzles. There is a lot of freedom out there if you can free yourself to think more creatively.
And that is a word. That is the word of the day. That is our message.
Yes.
But I think that you're in a strong start if you can work with the couple to look at what might be the source of anxiety or the source of the resistance about a particular element, and make some key decisions about how to tweak it, change it, make it work for them. Because, as Nicole said, there's so much freedom in letting go of the should.
Here's your permission slip to get creative, and we give it to you. And we're so excited to hear what you come up with, so please let us know.
All right, we know you're going to rock it.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for joining us, officiants. If you have a question or a tricky situation we might help you navigate, please reach out by leaving a comment below or emailing us through our contact form at rebelheartrituals.com. We're so proud that you are taking your officiating responsibilities so seriously, and we're glad you're ready to rebel against should to create the best wedding ever. See you next time.